business community. I'm proud to say we're doing just that, from hosting webinars and roundtables to posting content and meeting with companies that were faced and are facing tough decisions. We are here to listen and to be a resource. We got an unwelcome opportunity last week to play that role during, whether you call it Snowmageddon or Snowvid, but hopefully you got the daily emails that we sent out to the business community, the members of the chamber, to make sure that you knew what was going on in Austin and to see what was being asked of the business community. If you have any feedback on those emails, just shoot me a note, because I'd love to hear from you. So today we're kicking off our 2021 Tech Talk series with Hugh Forrest, the Chief Programming Officer, for a behind-the-scenes look into South by Southwest Online 2020. And I can't wait to see what you have in store for us, Hugh. This has been a terrific partnership for us for a long time, and we're really excited to provide you, our members, with this behind-the-scenes look at how South by Southwest is going to pivot this year. We all know and love this event. It's been cutting edge forever, and this year's virtual experience is guaranteed to be impressive. Let me take a minute here and thank our partners whose support helps provide all of this programming for us all year long. I'd like to recognize Amazon, Ascension Seton, Dell Technologies, PIMCO, and Wells Fargo. Thank you to our foundation partners, Bank of America, Downtown Austin Alliance, Home Depot, Jacobs, Samsung, and St. David's Healthcare. And to our corporate partners. Hopefully you can see all these great business names on the slide there. We're very grateful for your support. Okay, and I want to thank the sponsors that made today's event possible: BAE Systems, Dell Technologies, and of course, Deloitte. You're in for a great program, and Chase Berg, who's with Deloitte, is going to introduce our guest of the hour. So Chase, I'm going to turn it over to you.
Wonderful. Thank you for that welcome, Laura, and thank you to the Austin Chamber of Commerce for hosting us today. Good afternoon, everyone. As was mentioned, my name is Chase Berg. I'm a partner at Deloitte, and I lead our audit practice here in Austin. In case you're not familiar with Deloitte, we are one of the big four accounting firms, but we're more than just an accounting firm. Deloitte provides industry-leading audit, consulting, tax, and advisory services to many of the world's most admired brands, including over 90% of the Fortune 500 and more than 7,000 private companies. Now celebrating 175 years of service, our network of member firms spans more than 150 countries and over 330,000 people. Here in Austin, we have more than 1,000 people serving clients across each of our four service lines. If you'd like to learn more about Deloitte, you can find me on LinkedIn, or you can visit our website at deloitte.com. So it is my pleasure to introduce Hugh Forrest, Chief Programming Officer with South by Southwest. He and fellow South by directors were named Austinites of the Year by the Austin Chamber of Commerce, as well as Austin Entrepreneurs of the Year by Ernst & Young. Today, he is joining us to talk about some of the amazing speakers and sessions that we can look forward to as part of the 2021 Digital South by experience. And I don't know about each of you, but I'm looking forward to something new. So with that, I'll turn it over to Hugh. Hey, Hugh, you're on mute.
All right, Chase, thank you for the nice intro. Thank you for pointing out that I'm on mute. You know, we've only been doing the Zoom thing for about a year. We'll get it down one of these times. So welcome everybody to today's edition of Tech Talk. Happy Texas Independence Day. It is great to be here on March 2nd, 2021. It is an absolutely beautiful day outside. So if you're spending the next hour inside with me, props to you for doing that. With that context, I would be remiss if I didn't express my sympathies to everyone in Austin and the Central Texas community who were impacted by the bad weather we had in February. It was such a difficult situation. Having lived here all my life, or most of my life, I've never seen anything like it. Crazy, but it was wonderful to see the community pull together in a lot of different ways. And that kind of pulling together is, I think, one of the many reasons that we all live in Austin. Stay there with me, Internet, please. Thanks to the Chamber, thanks to Laura and the Chamber for organizing today's edition of Tech Talk. Thanks to Bay Systems, Dell, and Deloitte for sponsoring. Thanks for all the other wonderful partners who are involved today. So with that, I'm going to jump into today's presentation. You're going to see a short keynote presentation for about 20 minutes or so you won't see my face. I'm hoping that the tech holds up because I've been having a little bit of internet issues over here. Cross your fingers on that. And here we go on sharing my screen. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about for the next few minutes, and then we'll have time for questions, is inside South by Southwest, what I am pumped about for March Magic 2021. Again, my name is Hugh Forrest. I am Chief Programming Officer at South by Southwest. And you can always email me, hugh@sxsw.com, or via the Twitters. I am at Hugh_W_Forrest. I really want to try to inspire you as much as possible with today's presentation. So I've got 3 different videos, all of which I think are pretty cool. Let's start with this one first and enjoy. So pretty cool video there. That was made by a woman named LILY Havesh, who's got a documentary, or there's a documentary about her in this year's event called LILY Topples the World. It is about her career as someone who puts together cool domino installations like that, part of the South by Southwest Film Festival for 2021. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about the film festival in just a few minutes. Again, I really, really appreciate you spending some of your Tuesday afternoon with me. I'm going to do, a short presentation and lots of times for questions. Mainly going to talk about what I'm most excited about for 2021. South by Southwest is all about new information in all different kinds of industries, but even more so, South by Southwest is all about creative inspiration. Creative inspiration is even more important in 2021, 2020, and 2021 during these difficult times we live in. Plus, of course, I want to give credit to Coach Sark for the pumped reference in the title. I've now incorporated that in my lingo, and I hope everyone else does as well, because it's a pretty cool word. Okay, a little more context about South by Southwest Online 2021. Speaking of inspiration, this is one of my all-time favorite moments at South by Southwest in 2016 when President Barack Obama came to the event, and a few days later, his wife keynoted also. So again, one of my favorite memories from the long time I've been at the event. First and foremost, well, what South by Southwest Online 2021 is not. Let's start with a brief rundown of what it's not. First and foremost, South by Southwest is not a real world in-person event. We can't do that because of the pandemic. It's unfortunate, but we got to deal with what we have. Up until a few months ago, we had hoped it might be possible to do some kind of in-person event, a small in-person component to South by Southwest 2021. Unfortunately, again, that's not possible given where we are with the pandemic. So virtual means that thousands of people won't be coming here in March. Virtual means there won't be the same kind of in-person experiences we have enjoyed at South by Southwest over the last 30 years, and virtual means that there won't be quite the same kind of networking as before. Specifically, there won't be the kind of synchronicity that has always made South by Southwest so special and so fun. But our job at South by Southwest is to make lemonade out of the lemons dealt to us, and that's what we're doing to this end. I'm very, very excited about what we have created for the 2021 event. What South by Southwest Online 2021 most definitely is, again, it's very different than what we've done for every other South by Southwest since the event started back in 1987. But in some ways, it's not that different. South by Southwest Online 2021 celebrates massive creativity in all kinds of industries. This is what we've always done at South by Southwest. The focus of South by Southwest has changed a ton since we started way back in the sleepy college days of Austin in 1987. But this focus on massive creativity is the one constant throughout. It's been our one guiding North Star for everything we've done for the last 35 years. Massive creativity is the connective tissue between South by Southwest 1987 and South by Southwest 2021. Massive creativity is what makes South by Southwest such a special event, and massive creativity is what makes Austin such a special place for us to live in. Lots of words, but again, videos of massive creativity are even more interesting. This next video is something we just released today, so you can go online and find it. It is really, really cool. About a minute preview of what South by Southwest Online 2021 is. Please enjoy.
Hi. Introducing South by Southwest Online, a digital experience taking place March 16th through March 20th with hundreds of all-new sessions, live and on demand, including keynote speakers, music festival showcases, film festival screenings, world-class networking, and the unexpected discoveries that are always a part of South by Southwest.
Anything you want at South by Southwest.
You can enjoy South by Southwest online with any of your devices through our online platform and on your television through our new connected TV app, or venture into the virtual world with South by Southwest Online XR.
Whoa.
South by Southwest Online will be streaming daily on the platform's 5 channels, so be sure to check out the full schedule and get exclusive access to chat with speakers and filmmakers. In addition to our event content, South by Southwest Online is offering networking and professional development opportunities with mentor sessions, meetups, roundtables, and more. Attend the Creative Industries Exhibition, an all-inclusive digital expo featuring top creative organizations, innovative industry leaders, small businesses, and emerging startups from around the world. It's South by Southwest, wherever you are. Register to attend and learn more at SXSW.com.
All right, so again, that video we just released today, hot off the proverbial digital presses. You can find that on the South by Southwest website, and I believe you can find that on our YouTube space also. Incredible content abounds in March. The footprint, yes, the footprint for South by Southwest Online 2021 is a bit smaller than usual. It's a 5-day event this year. What we usually do is 9 days, or what we have done for the past 15 years or so is 9 days. So again, a little bit smaller than what you've seen in the past, but still a tremendous amount of incredible programming. The South by Southwest Film Festival will have about 200 total screenings. That'll be everything from narrative features to documentaries, shorts, all kinds of incredibly cool content within the film festival. The music festival will have about 300 total showcases from bands from Austin, from all over the US, from all around the world. One of the things we've tried to do with these bands is showcase them in some of their native element, hence the video footage you just saw of bands in Sweden playing on a ski gondola, which is pretty cool. And the South by Southwest Conference will have about 500 total sessions. My work at South by Southwest is probably most focused on the conference content. So I'm going to spend the next few minutes talking about 15 of the speakers and sessions that I am personally most excited about, most pumped about in Coach Sark language for the 2021 event. And here we go. All right. For 2021, our opening speaker is ADRIENE MISHLER, who I'm sure a lot of you are probably know, maybe even take yoga classes from in person or online. She is actually based in Austin. She has a studio over by the South by Southwest office on Lavaca. She also has a very, very robust presence on YouTube, and that presence has grown significantly during the pandemic. I wasn't, until the last month, I wasn't familiar with all the various things ADRIENE does. She's also a writer, an actor, has been involved with South by Southwest in many different ways over the years. For 2021, she will be giving the opening remarks. That occurs at 10 a.m. on Tuesday, March 16th. I have seen her talk. It's very, very inspirational. It talks about what she has learned being in social isolation the last year, and it also takes the audience through a guided breathing exercise. So I think it will set a very, very positive tone for the event. Again, she will be Tuesday morning, March 16th at 10 a.m. as the official opening speaker. Speaking of Austin people who are involved with South by Southwest 2021, one of our 5 keynotes this year is Willie Nelson. The one, the only Willie Nelson. Believe it or not, in 30 plus years of South by Southwest, Willie Nelson has never spoken at South by Southwest before. So we are incredibly excited to have him as a keynote this year. I mentioned earlier in the presentation that there are a lot of reasons why we live here. And organizations that make Austin great. I love what the Chamber does. I love what Dell Computer does and Michael Dell does. I love what Deloitte does. I love Whole Foods. I love Franklin's Barbecue. I love Bumble. I love ACL. I love South by Southwest. I love Barton Springs, Lake Travis, and Mount Bonnell. But let's be honest, please, Willie Nelson is the reason that we all live in Austin. If there's any such thing as the guiding light, the spirit that has guided this community, it is Willie Nelson. He speaks. His keynote session is Wednesday, March 16th at 1 p.m. Do not miss that. Our opening keynote, our keynote on Tuesday, March 16th, is Stacey Abrams. She actually spoke at South by Southwest in 2019. For 2021, and 2019, she spoke about her most recently published book. In 2021, she will talk a little bit about her Get Out the Vote efforts. She will also talk about her work as an author. If you're not familiar with one of Stacey Abrams' side gigs, she has written several romance novels. It is not under her name, but do a Google search and you'll find it very quickly. So she is going to pair up with N.K. Jemisin to talk about that. I believe I've misspelled her name. It should be Jemisin. She is an award-winning science fiction writer. She and Stacey will talk about the power of writing, about the power of narrative. It is one of these kinds of combinations that we try to do, that we think we specialize in at South by Southwest, this pairing of two very, very creative people talking about the intersection of their interests. Again, this keynote with Stacey Abrams and N.K. Jemisin happens on Tuesday, March 16th at 1 p.m. We also have an incredibly special surprise that will open up this keynote. I can't tell you what it is because it's a surprise, but it's something that is probably the thing I'm most excited about for this year's event amongst many things I'm excited about. Okay, so going from N.K. Jemisin, who is a science fiction writer, to a gentleman named Avi Loeb, who's actually a professor of astrophysics at Harvard. But he also is an author. His most recent book that was published in January is titled Extraterrestrial, The First Sign of Intelligent Life Beyond Earth. His session at South by Southwest is titled, Are We the Smartest Kids on the Block? And he will argue that there are already extraterrestrials on Earth. Again, this is a Harvard professor who is going to make this argument from a scientific point of view. It is one of these kind of weird, crazy, fun things that we do at South by Southwest, and I'm excited about this one also. Another speaker who will be with us for the first time in 2021 is Dr. Kai-Fu Lee. He is an AI expert based in Beijing. His most recent book is titled AI Superpowers, China, Silicon Valley, and the New World Order. And his session for South by Southwest is titled AI in the Post-Work World. If you've been to South by Southwest in the last few years, you know that talks about artificial intelligence are always incredibly popular, and really, really excited to have Dr. Lee involved with the 2021 event. I put his slide in this presentation because he's someone that we've wanted to get at South by Southwest for the past 5 years, but it just hasn't worked out from a travel perspective, given that he was based in Beijing. One of the big advantages of a virtual event is we're able to pull in speakers who just couldn't make it work before from a travel or time perspective, and Dr. Lee is one of those. So really excited to have him involved this year. Another speaker who we've wanted to have involved with South by Southwest over the last 5 years or longer, and it's never quite worked out, but he will be speaking at this year's event, is Sir Richard Branson. He is speaking on a session called Business Leaders Against the Death Penalty. Fascinating session that I've watched. The session covers many different things, one of which being that the death penalty is in many ways a symbol of our of some of the institutional racism we have in the US. He also talks a lot about how he feels businesses should get more involved with the causes that they believe in. One of the things that he says in the session, which is easy to remember, and I like easy to remember sayings, and this is a principle he says that he uses in guiding his decisions, is screw it, just do it. So there you go, screw it, just do it, and apologies to Nike on that one. Again, he's speaking on a session titled Responsible Business Leaders Against the Death Penalty. Another one of our keynotes who we just announced last week is a gentleman named Charles Yu. He wrote a book that came out last year called Interior Chinatown. This book is the National Book of the Year winner. It is about the immigrant experience in the US. If you read reviews of the book, it generally talks about how funny a book it is. I don't think it's that funny. It's really a incredibly realistic and at times difficult look about how immigrants are treated in the US. And it is all the more powerful given, his book is all the more powerful given the current wave of anti-Asian hate speech in the wake of COVID. He will be in conversation with the CNN journalist Lisa Ling. His keynote is Friday, March 19th at 1 p.m. And I will highly, highly recommend this book. I'm not a fast reader, but this book takes about 3 hours to read, and it's an incredibly different take on immigration than what you've ever seen before, and very, very moving. The other two keynotes that we announced last week, Secretary Pete Buttigieg, who is the new Secretary of Transportation, he will be speaking on Wednesday, March 18th at 1 p.m. If you remember the last South by Southwest in-person event, which was 2029, you could argue that Mayor Pete, or then Mayor Pete, was the most successful startup at that year's event. He went from having 1% of the Democratic, the primary vote at the beginning of March to at about 5% at the end of March. That was largely because of all the promotion he got at South by Southwest. So great to have him back this year, and he'll be talking about how he intends to revolutionize the transportation grid in the US with new technology. Then our final keynote speaker for 2021 is Priya Parker. She is the author of the book that came out a couple of years ago called The Art of the Gathering. Priya speaks on Saturday, March 20th, and we'll talk about how important gatherings are, how much we have missed gatherings in the last year because of the pandemic, what she expects the gatherings of the future to be like. So that's our full keynote lineup. A few of the other speakers that I'm particularly excited about, this is LOEB Gibson. She is on a session titled LOEB Gibson on Tapping into Your Creative Vision. Briefly, the description of this session is empower the dreamer in you, the artist, the writer, the athlete, the entrepreneur, the mover, and the shaker. World-renowned creative visionary, choreographer, and author LOEB Gibson shares the principles that have shaped and guided her artistic work, developing some of the world's biggest pop stars. And she'll be in conversation with creative director, celebrity stylist, and costume designer, June Ambrose. Her session, again, on tapping into your creativity. What could be more South by Southwest than that? So really excited to have her involved at the 2021 event. Another speaker we have this year is Alexandra COUSTEAU. She is, of course, the granddaughter of the most recent of the Cousteau line of stewards of the sea. She is on a session titled Aquaculture, Food Systems and Climate Change. As the title implies, is talking about how climate change is impacting the oceans and how that is impacting our food systems. Certainly climate change is a big focus at this year's event. Her participation this year kind of harkens back to an event we did in Austin for several years called South by Southwest Eco. Great to have her involved with this year's event. And that session about aquaculture, food systems, and climate change also includes celebrity chef Andrew Zimmern, the writer David Kelly, as well as seaweed farmer Sarah Redmond. So it should be really great. Another speaker for 2021, Erin Lee Carr. She was actually scheduled to be a keynote in 2020. She's one of several speakers that was scheduled to speak in 2020 who will be coming back for the 2021 event. She is a documentary filmmaker. And she is also daughter of David Carr, who was a big part of South by Southwest when he was a writer at the New York Times. Her session is titled The Best and Worst Career Advice I've Ever Heard. She'll be talking about what she has learned along her journey as a documentary filmmaker. And I think career advice is something that is very much our currency at South by Southwest also. Shifting a little bit older, yes, Carole King, that Carole King of Tapestry fame is speaking at South by Southwest. Really excited that she is a nominee for the 2021 Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. So great to have her at this year's event. She's talking on a session titled Carole King and John Platt Discuss Notes on Inclusive Leadership, about how to be more inclusive in your music, how to be more inclusive in things you do. Really excited to have Carole King involved. And let's see who can name their favorite Carole King song in the Q&A period of this event. Another person talking about music is Cher Hugh. She will be talking about the convergence of music and technology, and particularly music and video games. This is something we are covering a lot of at South by Southwest 2021. Her session is in fact titled The Future of Music and Gaming Partnerships. If you're paying attention to this space, you're seeing that more and more artists are doing virtual concerts in platforms such as Fortnite or Roblox. She's going to talk about this. She has a very influential newsletter and blog that focuses on the intersection of music and technology. That's something that is a great space for us to be in, given that we cover these things so well. Speaking of technology, another of our speakers is Alexis OHANIAN, who you may know as the husband of Serena Williams. He's also one of the co-founders of Reddit. More recently, he was on the news a lot in mid-February when the GameStop stock craziness was happening, because a lot of that happened through the particular Reddit, where people were getting their marching orders to buy stock or sell stock. His session for South by Southwest 21 is titled How to Build a More Authentic Online Community. I think that session is incredibly relevant to where we are now with social media and the internet and the online world of trying to build communities that are more authentic. Incidentally, one of the other speakers on that session is a gentleman named David Dobrik. He has a photo app called Dispo, which is certainly one of the hottest apps out there right now. It's a pretty cool thing. You use it to take photographs, and unlike photographs you would normally take on your iPhone or Android, the photos don't come back to you for 24 hours. So it creates a whole different dynamic, which is pretty neat. A speaker who's been at South by Southwest many of the last few years is named Amy Webb. She has very much built her career at South by Southwest. For the last at least 5 years, she's done a session titled the 10 Top Emerging Technology Trends. I think that session and the title of that session very much typifies why people come to South by Southwest, to learn about the top trends in technology and music and film and all kinds of other industries. Her session has become one of the most popular sessions at the event, and really excited to have her involved in the 2021 event. Then the last person I will mention is a gentleman named Jim Breyer. He is the founder of a group called BREYER Capital. Why am I mentioning Jim? He opened an office in Austin last summer. So was very much on this move of California talent coming to Austin. He still has his California office. He's adamant that California isn't going away, Silicon Valley isn't going away, but he's also very, very bullish on the future of Austin, and the future of Austin as a tech and innovation hub. And I think you've heard that from a few other parties, not the least of which is the Austin Chamber. His session is titled "The Move to ATX, Silicon Valley is a State of Mind." Another great session that he really reviews the reasons he thinks Austin is having such a strong moment now, what it will look like in the future, what are the strengths and things that we need to improve on as a startup and tech ecosystem. So again, a fascinating session. As per the video, we'll have lots of networking opportunities at South by Southwest 2021. We won't have the same kind of synchronicity as before, so you won't be able to meet people in line at Ironworks or Franklin's or getting coffee in the morning. But what we lose in synchronicity, I think we gain in targeted strategy for the networking. Registered attendees can use the app to pre-connect with other attendees, and I think that functionality is available on the app right now. The app opened yesterday. Many panels and presentations will also have what we call session viewing parties, so people can watch together at their place of residence, that type thing, and that will allow for better chat functionality and questions and networking that way. We will also have many meetups during the event. We'll have mentor sessions during the event. These are things that we've typically done at South by Southwest, but are recreating this year in a virtual world. How you can get involved with South by Southwest: buy a badge. If you are a chamber member, you can get a special discount on your badge. I think we'll have a little more information on that in a few minutes. You can also get a discount on your badge if your company wants to buy 10 or more. You can contact me for more information on that. There will be a small amount of South by Southwest content available for free, probably a little less than what we've had in previous years, but a small amount. Stay tuned for more information on that. I will also remind you at this point that the process for speaking proposals for South by Southwest 2022, that process will open during the first 2 weeks of July. We do that through the South by Southwest panel picker, and that allows anyone in our community in Austin and around Texas, around the US and around the world to enter their uber creative idea and have a chance to speak at South by Southwest. A little more on the badge experience for the 2021 event. The current price of a South by Southwest badge is only $325. I say only because that is a much lower price point than we've had in the last few years. For this year, there's only one kind of badge and one price for all South by Southwest related events. So there's not a film badge or a music badge. It's the same badge for everything. One of the big advantages, and we were talking about this in the virtual green room for 2021, is you don't have to worry about lines. It's not that you won't be able to get into a room because the room only has 500 seats and you're the 501st person in line. We'll have lots and lots of capacity. We'll have some of the content for registrants will be available after March 20th, so no FOMO. If you miss a session, you can go back and watch it on the app. Badge gets you all the networking opportunities and options that I mentioned earlier, plus it will get you access to the virtual trade show. Another interesting thing, since we have such a large international audience coming to South by Southwest, is the content will be available 24/7 during that March 16th through 20th timeframe. So our day starts at 10 a.m. and then it restarts at 10 p.m. So content that broadcasts at 10 a.m. will rebroadcast at 10 p.m., 10:30 a.m., 10:30 p.m. And that will help out all our many registrants who are coming from Asia and the Pacific Rim. More info on this year's event. You can always find more information at sxsw.com, more information on content at sxsw.com/conference. Again, if you have South by Southwest questions, connect with me at hugh@sxsw.com. If you're not sick of being on virtual calls today, I'm doing another short presentation at the Austin Forum tonight. That's at 6 p.m. The subject for the Austin Forum tonight is the COVID vaccine process. So I'm going to talk a very short time about COVID-related sessions for 2021. I will be giving away a free South by Southwest badge tonight. So if you want to attend the Austin Forum and have a chance to win a free South by Southwest badge, registering for the Austin Forum is free, and do that at austinforum.org. Last but certainly not least, before we jump over to some questions, remind everyone that our opening keynote speaker for South by Southwest EDU is none other than Oprah Winfrey, who will be in conversation with Dr. Bruce Perry about their book, which is soon to be released. She speaks at South by Southwest EDU on the morning of Tuesday, March 9th. You must have a South by Southwest EDU badge to see her keynote. Again, it's an EDU badge, not a South by Southwest badge. There is lots and lots and lots of other amazing content at South by Southwest EDU. So if you're in the education profession now, interested in getting in the education profession, interested in how the pandemic is radically reshaping the education profession, buy a badge for South by Southwest EDU. Current price for an EDU badge is $139 only. Last but not least, one last clip of South by Southwest inspiration. This is from a session that we have called Stepping into Space, the International Space Station Experience. And yes, these are astronauts who did their session live from space. This is pretty cool.
This is Station. We are ready for the event. It's South by Southwest.
Pretty cool, pretty cool, pretty cool. Okay. That's me. And back to you, Lacey. And there we go. Or Chase, back to you.
Yeah, so I appreciate the presentation, Hugh. That's very insightful. We'll open up for some Q&A here. And for those in the audience, if you have any particular questions that you'd like to ask Hugh, please add those into the comments section, and we will do our best to get as many questions responded to as possible. So, Hugh, when we think about programming for South by Southwest in a virtual world versus a live world, which one is more challenging?
Great question, Chase. I think that it's this year was more challenging with the virtual world simply because we've never done it before. We've had some sessions that we streamed before. I had the slide of President Obama. We streamed that. We streamed other things, but we've never done a entirely virtual event. And certainly we have 30 plus years of expertise producing live in-person events. We don't have that much expertise producing virtual events. So it has been at times steep learning curve. I think we've learned a lot. I think we'll learn a lot more over the next 2 weeks. But I'm really proud of what we put together. And I think that the audience will have a very different experience again. But again, will very much tap that creative, that massive creativity push that South by Southwest has always done, and that Austin is famous for.
All right. So now that we're going to have done it virtually here, do you view that South by Southwest will take place more virtually in the future, or is the anticipation this is hopefully one and done and go back to live events?
I think that the hope at present is that 2022 will be somewhat of a hybrid event. I mean, certainly in the last week, we've seen the announcement that ACL is going to happen in 2021. We've seen the announcement that UT football is going to happen at quote full capacity for 2021. There you go, all gas, no brakes. So I think that for March 2022, our hope or goal is that we will have an in-person event, a very, very robust in-person event, but we will also complement that with a more significant virtual offering than we've ever done before, so or had done before. So that will offer, in a sense, the best of both worlds. People who can't travel to Austin but want to take part in South by Southwest can access the event via the virtual space. People who maybe don't have the financial resources to get a hotel or Airbnb in Austin or to travel to Austin can experience the event from a virtual world. So I hope that this year, 2021, helps expand our audience, in 2022 even more so our audience, and all the more so push that message of all the cool stuff we're doing in Austin to an even greater community around the world.
All right. And again, if you have any questions, feel free to add those in the comments section so we can get those asked. So as it relates to COVID, how has that affected kind of the future practices, and are you expecting there to be changes going forward in the festivals as a result of social distancing and the impact of COVID?
That's a great question also. I think that we will have the benefit in March 2022 of having seen a lot of events before us and what the best and maybe not best practices are. So whether that means there is there's temperature checks when people enter buildings, whether that means there's simply more hand sanitizer around, whether that means that most people are still wearing masks in spring 2022, we don't know. I think one of the, what's interesting with our experience with South by Southwest, and I hate the word interesting, but there's no other way to describe it, is that if you recall, roughly a year ago at this time, when South by Southwest was canceled by the city on March 6th, we were one of the first big events in the U.S. to cancel. And I think that a lot of people in Austin, a lot of people around the U.S. were surprised by this. The cancellation, certainly, a month later, 2 months later, 3 months later, it absolutely made sense why the cancellation happened, but we were very much on the cutting edge for the wrong reason there. Again, in 2022, it'll be I think a different story where we'll have been able to watch a lot of other events, a lot of other gatherings, conferences, sporting events, concerts, see what they do, see how they, what practices we can, absorb from watching them.
Right. And you talked a little bit about just being able to get more international participation. Are you seeing that? How are you going to be able to gauge the amount of international participation this year, maybe as opposed to when it's a live event, to see if you're getting far more reach than usual? Yeah.
Another great question there. One of the things that we had seen a lot of in the last 10 years is just a large growth in international participation at South by Southwest. A lot of that was because, part of that was because of the growing stature of the event. Part of it was simply because it was easier to come to Austin because more challenged state when the cancellation occurred. But at any rate, for the past couple of years, the number of international registrations has been about 25% of the total amount of registrations. So 1 in every 4 registrations has been from outside the US. What we're seeing so far for the 2021 event is that has gone up to 33%. So again, it verifies that assumption that if you have an event that's virtual, that's going to open it up to a different audience, people who from around.
Okay, I think we have maybe one final question coming through here. We had an audience member who would like to know a little bit more about the South by Southwest XR. Can you speak a little bit more?
Yeah, great question there. Also, this is one of the really cool bells and whistles we have for 2021. It is an XR environment. You can participate in this if you have an Oculus headset or some other kind of VR headset. You will also be able to participate in it if you don't have a headset. And what it will be centered around the Paramount Theater, and people will be able to use their avatar to walk around. You'll be able to go into the Paramount Theater and watch South by Southwest content virtually via the Paramount Theater. The other portion will be at the Red River Cultural District, and people will be able to observe virtual environments work. This should be pretty neat. For others who are more tech challenged or just want to get the content in a little bit more of a straightforward fashion, they can absorb that via our swap card or via Bright Cove, which is our OTT platform, which will allow you to experience South by Southwest from the comfort of your couch.
Right. Well, I don't see any additional questions that have come through here, and your internet subscription looks like it's about to go out here. So, so maybe we'll turn it back over to Laura.
Hamsters are pedaling as fast as they can, Chase. They just can't keep the generators going.
No, I hear you. I hear you. So, but absolutely appreciate you taking the time. I think it was, like I said, very insightful to the group here, and I said I'll turn it back over to Laura.
Thanks. That was great. Hugh, I don't know what is more fascinating, seeing Willie Nelson as a keynote speaker, since, as you said, he's the why we're all here. But I'm super interested in this idea of extraterrestrials on Earth now.
Can you meld those two ideas into one, Laura?
I'm working on it. And since I have yet to meet 100% of the chamber staff, I may be using, this whole new ET lens to meet people. That was a really, really great rundown. I don't know about you guys, but that really motivated me to carve out some real time to see these speakers. There's so much good content built into there and so much creativity. And let me say this, if you are Sharon Wade, then you won the big one today. You won the raffle. So if you will email the chamber, you can find out what your big prize is. And again, Hugh, thanks. It was great having you here as always. Our staff refers to you as the local band here at the chamber, the house band. It's always fun to partner with you. I think you do so much to inspire creativity in this community and to just show the world what we're all about. So thanks for joining us today. We look forward to the virtual South by Southwest. And thanks to everybody who made some time for us today. Y'all have a good rest of the afternoon.